The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2024 summer edition of The Local Show. I'm your host, Tom Soccocio Jr., along with my good friend and co-host, Steve Roberts. The Local Show features conversations about local businesses. We talk about the businesses to the business owners, CEOs, CFOs, entrepreneurs, nonprofits, business advocates, and all those people that are business-friendly organizations. We talk to all of them. We learn how they got into business and why they do business right here in Syracuse, New York, and where their businesses might be going in the future. You're going to hear all about their successes, their challenges, opportunities, marketing, and advertising. We're broadcasting from the Zoey Advertising Studios, sponsored by Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts, and you can see us on YouTube as well. You can see Steve over there doing silly things. Sort of like having a kindergarten class in the background.
I loved kindergarten. They had a sand table.
Yes.
Well, a sand table in the corner, and it was.
You didn't get much beyond that intellectually,
no,
so I can see.
I'll tell you, life was easier then, you know. And you used to take a nap. They lay down a little mat.
Coloring books. You could eat the crayons, right?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Fun stuff. Well, folks, we're back together again. As you can tell, we've had a couple of hosts in there, co-hosts,
Yes.
And we had some fun with that, but now we're back and flying the plane straight for just a little bit.
Is that what? Flying it straight?
Flying it straight.
Is that an accusation?
It's not hitting anything that we know of. Yeah. And we got a good show for you, too. Dr. Nicole Anzalone is going to stop by, and she's the owner of Syracuse Hearing Solutions. Mike Albanese is the owner of Albanese Longhorns, and he's part of Onondaga Grown, so that'll be an interesting conversation. Sheila Ostrom will stop by, the owner of Senior Home Care and Alzheimer's Solutions. Scott Jones, who actually went to high school with my wife. They're good old friends. Owner of Northside Collision. Sean Dupree, the owner of Top Notch Roofing. And then Jerome Snyder stops by. We'll talk bugs because he owns Pestmaster Services. And Luis Colón Torres is the owner of Luis Colón Torres Enterprises, which includes the Guadalajara restaurant. And he'll stop by for an interesting conversation. And he owns a couple other restaurants as well. Right now, we say a hearty, healthy good morning to Dr. Nicole Anzalone. How are you?
Good morning. Long time no see.
Yeah, it's been a little while.
Yeah.
I got a thing in my ear. Do people say that to you a lot? Hey, I got a thing in my ear.
They say that they feel like they have something in their ear. Yeah.
Can you get any acne or little things that happen inside, just outside the ear canal, or you know what I mean? When you go in there and you can feel it.
You could get all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, you can.
Same as on your skin, you know.
Yeah, right. Because I have something. It's like it's painful, and I looked. I have the light from my phone, and I'm kind of looking, and I think it's just like a little pimple that is on the inside.
YouTube listeners, we're not showing this, just to be clear.
I'm not the pimple popper.
You don't do that. And you should tell people it's been a little while since you've been on. You have a burgeoning business. A lot of business. So tell people where your locations are and, how you got to own this thing.
Yeah, so I own two practices, one on the east side of town in Fayetteville, one on the west side of town in Camillus. Mm-hmm. And I started out, it was 2010 when I officially opened my Camillus office, and we've been growing ever since. I started, with a master's in neuroscience and then my doctorate in audiology. And ever since then, I always wanted to help people hear better. I want to help diagnose and treat hearing imbalance disorders. It's life-changing for a lot of people, and a lot of people don't realize how important it is to hear in their daily lives. Their communication, it affects their health in general, balance, and even if you treat it, decreasing number of falls potentially. So it's very, very important. There's a lot of connections to things like dementia that we're finding out about and so on and so forth. So it's very, very important to hear better. And a lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah. And who comes to your practice? Like, why would someone come to an audiologist?
Anyone who has hearing problems, feels like there's something wrong with their ears, if they have tinnitus or tinnitus, like ringing in their ears or balance problems, I could diagnose hearing imbalance problems. So, and treat them and help them.
So why not, hey, we're running a sale here for $19.99. You can, on TV, you can get double ear hearing aids, and we'll do it all. I see a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, so those are called over-the-counter hearing aids or OTC or hearing aids. The problem with those is that they're really amplifiers. If the device does not know what your hearing loss is, they're just going to make things louder or softer. A lot of people don't realize that with damaged ears, with hearing loss, you have to process the sounds a little bit differently because the ears are not hearing normally. So with prescription hearing aids, we fine-tune them with different types of processing in the devices to help maximize what you're hearing. And you really have to fine-tune and tweak it. And a professional is better at doing that than just an over-the-counter.
So are you saying, let's pretend I can't hear high, or I can hear middle, or I can't hear low. You turn up the one that is in a deficit and then leave the others? Is that kind of what you're saying?
Exactly. So it's a prescription. So basically you're trying to not over or under amplify different parts of the ear, and also change frequencies, because if there's parts of the ear that are missing sounds, you have to shift the sound into areas where they have more usable hearing. So these are things that you can do with modern technology, which really helps. And it's interesting because we do speech tests. So we do all this, and then we test some word lists, and then the patients actually score better on these word tests afterwards.
Is it true that the tests are very painful?
No, not at all. Not at all. Basically, you're just hearing what you hear and letting us know, and it's pretty easy testing. It's very, very harmless.
Tom and I did it. Tom, remember?
We did. Yeah.
Yeah, you did very well.
Right. So, aside from the actual hearing tests like that, I know that you do some cognitive testing as well. How does that relate to hearing, cognitive function?
Yeah, so there's a lot of research out now about the relationship between early cognitive decline and untreated hearing loss. So we know that when someone is not hearing for a long period of time, it's sensory deprivation, and it deprives information to the brain. So what can happen is it changes our memory. It changes how we perceive sounds and input in our environment. So it really changes the brain. And they've done all sorts of fMRI studies to look at how the brain changes it anatomically as well as physiologically. So that's why we do cognitive testing or screenings, just to see what the relationship is. And it's interesting because you could see an improvement on cognitive tests with when a patient decides to wear hearing aids, and if they're wearing them consistently. So it can help memory. It reduces the fatigue on the brain.
Nice. How about the new technology? Anything new on the horizon that you're seeing for 2024, 2025 in the way of hearing aids?
Yeah, absolutely. So, of course, they're getting smaller, more discreet, and smarter. A lot of the technology inside is using AI now to decide and look for different patterns of what would be considered noise and what would be considered speech, to clean up the signal even more, to make it easier for people with hearing loss to hear better. So they are decisive in what sounds and speech they're looking for, which is really interesting.
So if they want a doctor of audiology and they don't want to order before midnight tomorrow and buy one, get one free, and they want to have a professional like we would with any other part of our body.
Right, it's your healthcare.
It's our healthcare. SyracuseHearingSolutions.com. There's all kinds of information there. You get great reviews. You go online, people talk about you all the time, and they say good things. I don't know why, but they do. 468-2985, 468-2985. Dr. Nicole, Syracuse Hearing Solutions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mike Albanese is coming up next. He's the owner of Albanese Longhorns and part of Onondaga Grown, right here on the local show on 570 WSYR. Stick around.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Back into it and back at it. You've got The Local Show right here on 570 WSYR 106.9 FM, and you can see us on YouTube as well. Hop on over there and get through all the clutter, because as soon as you click on one of the segments, you'll be served up more of the segments on The Local Show rather than, cats playing piano.
Well, there might be cats playing and
water skiing.
Squirrels
water skiing.
So now that we have a black lab, because we kind of inherited it kind of from our son who got deployed, who came back and said, you can keep my dog.
Yes.
Anyway, I saw, now I'm getting black lab videos because we look them up.
You're right.
And when food comes out, I didn't realize labs are like food. Uh-huh. Oh my gosh. There was a video of like all these dogs, and it was like a little birthday party, and he had all these dogs and a black lab, and they're like, okay, you can eat. He ate his and like everybody else's food. It made me feel better about my own dog.
Voracious appetite.
You say the word food, his head turns like food.
Yeah.
But he's doing well. He's doing well.
Very good. Well, we've got a new person to the show. His name is Mike Albanese. He's the owner of Albanese Longhorns and part of Onondaga Grown. So on the heels of a food conversation, we can talk real food here. How you doing there, Mike?
I'm doing well, thank you.
It's good to have you along. So, Mike, Albanese is a big name around Syracuse. Are you related to other Albaneses?
No, I am not. I know most of them, I think.
Yeah.
But no direct relation. Maybe 5th or 8th or 10th cousin, but no direct relation.
Are you from Syracuse originally?
I'm born and raised in Jamesville.
Oh, nice. Mm-hmm. Okay. And where is your farm?
We have a number of farms in Jamesville, Pompey, Lafayette, and Cazenovia.
Good golly. You're that big, huh?
Well, I wouldn't say that.
How many head of cattle?
I own 200 plus. My daughter has a good size herd.
Yeah.
We raise Texas Longhorn cattle and hay, both for the cow market and the horse market.
So what's the difference between the Texas Longhorns that we might see on your farms as opposed to other bulls?
Well, it's the Texas Longhorns is a breed.
Okay.
And they obviously have horns, but I guess technically speaking, they're a beef breed, although we raise them for other purposes. We do sell meat.
Do you ride them? And what else the other?
No. But funny you should say that. That's a recreational outlet that we typically don't get involved with. But those bulls that you see in the rodeo circuit and so forth are part Longhorn because they're so athletic.
I see.
And
I'd like to put Steve in a pen with a couple of these Longhorns. Can we do that?
We can do that. Yeah.
And chase them around. I'm going to dress them all in red.
We also can do that.
Aren't they colorblind?
They are. Red is not a thing.
It's not.
Fantasy,
okay.
Yeah.
Just the blood.
We can fix them up.
Nice. So, so it's a breed. Is it a better form of meat? Do you sell a lot of meat?
Well, a lot is a relative term. I think we do. I think that's progressive. The COVID gave us kind of a foothold in that because people were a little afraid of the food availability and quality and so forth and so on. So we kind of looked at that a little harder during that period of time. Largely, really what our goal is to sell live animals to other breeders to...
I see.
Oh, okay.
So you'll sell to go out to stud, right? And make more?
Females and males both.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, primarily females. Of course, that's where the real market is to sell females to other breeders throughout the country.
Okay.
Because you can imagine the bulk of that activity is in Texas, in the southern plains. But in the East is growing. When I started nearly 40 years ago, there was just none around. I mean, none around. Now that's changed. Partly due to me and many others that have worked at it.
So if I'm like, Tom, where do we get a Longhorn? You're the guy.
I'm the guy. Yeah. So, yeah.
And what's the difference taste-wise as far as eating?
Well, it's probably very little. The difference may be with mine or ours, I should say, is that they're grass-fed as opposed to grain-finished. That might give you a little different flavor. I'm going to be biased and say the Longhorn meat is more healthy than the other breeds. But there's some data to substantiate that. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead. Finish
what
your
I was
thought.
going to say was we're chemical-free, hormone-free, and we have a number of other categories that we fall into: New York grown, humanely raised, traceability, a number of other things that and we're kind of proud of that we do that maybe some others don't.
Mm-hmm. I have been wonderfully more healthy since I've gone more carnivore, more whole food diet, right? So I eat a lot of meat, and I'll get my grass-fed, grass-finished beef from various places. Mm-hmm. And I've been wanting to get a cow. I'm looking for some place that can package it up and buy it for the season. Now that you and I are absolutely fantastic friends. Mm-hmm. Will you give me a good discount on?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Most certainly.
So you sell it to consumers?
Yeah.
We sell directly to the public.
Yeah, good.
It's unusual to sell a half or a whole. We have packaged products. We use a
because that's a big quantity. Or when you say unusual,
typically yes. I mean, a family of four, a half would last them a year. So,
which is good, though.
Well, it is if you want to go that way. If you have freezer space and want to do that, it's more economical. But we have a retail outlet at the Casnovia farm.
Okay.
And we use a USDA processor. Mm-hmm. So we have all the cuts.
Really,
what we kind of been focusing on is ground beef.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of a...
Well, ground beef is wonderful because you also get the cartilage and the fats and everything in a ground beef.
Well, yeah, longhorn meat is naturally more lean than most other breeds, and we have some data that's substantial. But again, not that fat is bad.
No.
It's just different.
Right. That's wonderful.
Tom used to be corn-fed, and then he went all carnivore. Then he changed his way, so now he's.
My people call it maize. Okay, just so you know. But it's good to have that kind of quality meat around here, and I don't think people know that they can get it. Through you.
And what farm? Where can they buy it? Did you say Casanova?
Yes, the website AlbaneseLonghorns.com. The website will get you there, or the phone number's there. Call anytime. We live at that farm, so we're always open.
Yeah.
Okay. But did you say, is there a place, do you do like farm shows? Do you like the Central Market or any of those things? Or you just...
We do not because of the lack of help and time.
Okay.
Agriculture is very labor intensive. It's very time consuming, especially this time of year.
Yeah, you said you cut hay. How many times can you cut hay in a year? How does that work? I'm always curious.
Well, because we don't use any chemicals and very, very little, no buff. We use natural fertilizer. If we're lucky, 3. We'll get 3 this year because it was an early spring.
Yeah.
But 2 or 3 is typically.
So do you cut hay while the sun shines?
Yeah, that's a real thing. That's a real thing.
It is, right? I mean,
when it's 95 and sunny, you're saying, God darn, But that's the hay in the sunshine thing is real.
On Farm Fest, when that comes around, will you be giving tours? Or?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, the Onondaga Grown, which is an awesome organization, would be at the Route 20 farm in Pompey.
Right.
That facility will be open. Then we'll have some pets there. We'll have a number of examples of longhorns, and we also sell hides, horns, and.
I was just going to ask you that. Do you make leather and stuff like that?
Yes, we do. Yeah, we have all that stuff in the store. Trinkets, gadgets, gifts.
How do you, in about 25, 30 seconds, how can you make people more comfortable with the fact that you're raising these cattle humanely and all that?
I'll personally guarantee you and anybody that they have the best life that any cow could have, and if the end have to come, it's quick and painless. I'll guarantee that because I'm big on that.
Right.
We're not even promised that.
Well, right. That's right. Yeah,
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Right, Tom?
Yeah. That's wonderful that you're around. So that's Mike Albanese right there, and I imagine your whole family's working the farm, right? Yeah.
We do.
All right. Yeah. Owner of Albanese Longhorns and part of Onondaga Grown. We really appreciate what you do. You can see them at AlbaneseLonghorns.com. AlbaneseLonghorns.com. Check out their website. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank both of you.
All right. Coming up next, we're going to talk with Sheila Ostrom. She's the owner of Senior Home Care and Alzheimer Solutions. Stick around for that conversation right here on The Local Show.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Floating in, floating out. You've got the local show right here. You remember my buddy Todd Emanuele, Steve?
Of course.
Yeah. So Todd lives up in Rome, and during the week, he had that little twister come right by his street, and
oh my goodness,
it came right down his street. It didn't affect his house, but it affected the houses around him.
Oh
and
my gosh.
The church and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the videos earlier this week were like, whoa.
Well, we were working out in Oneida together when, remember the bull, the big bull, the cow there?
I have a picture.
I forgot the name of the restaurant. Isn't that terrible?
It's that place, yes.
Yeah,
I have a picture of myself standing in front of that.
Yeah.
With my old friend Alex. Remember Alex?
Right, I do.
We were doing some stuff for Maple out there, and then someone stole it.
Some 7 years ago, there was another twister that came through, and it messed up the bull.
Well, okay. Well, do you remember then someone stole it?
I do.
They ripped up.
I don't know how, because the thing was huge.
Here, put it in the back of the car, honey. I know what you do with that thing.
Crazy. Tell us about Safe Harbor Wills and Trust. You got about 20 seconds. Go ahead.
Not a problem. If you want the government to execute your plan, then just don't do anything. And if you want to control things, if you want to protect your home and life savings, if you want to avoid having to give everything to the nursing home someday, SafeHarborWillsandTrust.com. Talk to John. Talk to the team. SafeHarborWillsandTrust.com. 370-9977. Even on the weekend, leave a message. They'll start the process for you. It's free to call, ask questions. 370-9977, Tom.
Excellent. All right. It's great to have Sheila Ostrom back with us. She's the owner of Senior Home Care and Alzheimer's Solutions. How are you?
I'm good. Glad to be back.
Well, it's good to have you, as usual. SyracuseSenior.com. SyracuseSenior.com if you want to see more about what Sheila does. She's going to tell you a little bit about what she does, but, you can see it visually, and you got a pretty robust site. So give us a little bit of background. You've been in the business for how long?
We're just starting our 15th year.
15 years.
I know, isn't that amazing?
Yeah, that's a long time. How many caregivers do you have?
We have about 55 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And these caregivers go out to people who are seniors. Typically, does your clientele start at a certain age and cap off at a certain age?
It's all over the board.
Yeah.
I mean, we have some younger people who are having a knee replacement or hip surgery, need some help for a little while.
Right.
So 55 all the way up to our oldest client's 104.
Goodness gracious.
Yes.
Doing well, huh?
Yes.
At 104.
Yep. We have our 104 clients doing better than a client we have who's 72. So age is really not indicative of where you're at in life.
Yeah. And you just don't help people with Alzheimer's or types of dementia.
Correct.
You help them all over the spectrum.
Yes. We help all kinds of seniors. Doing a lot of different things, and each account is individual. We do light housekeeping, we take people to appointments, cooking, meal preparation, medication reminders.
Yeah.
We do a lot of sheet changing because it's harder to do that as you get older.
Yeah.
I hate
Laundry.
changing sheets.
Yeah.
Fitted bed sheets.
Yes.
My wife's having some back problems, so I've been doing some of that.
Yeah.
I would rather.
No one wants to do that.
No one. Yeah, I don't know why.
And then they pop off, and you reach over, and they don't quite. Is there a secret to that you guys have figured out?
You need deeper sheets if they're
right,
popping
the
off.
deep ones, and they do
but
make
it still
them.
is work.
Yeah, it is a lot of work.
So we do a lot of that.
We got busy, and then my wife is having. She had an eye surgery and detached retina and all this. So it's just been like crazy over at the Soccocio household in terms of busyness, right?
Yes.
So it got into. And I was joking, and she's going to hate me for saying this, but I think it went on. It was like a couple of months we didn't change the sheets, and
That's awesome.
And it might have been longer. And I'm like, honey, we got to change
that
the
on
sheet.
the air. That's not good.
So we finally did it, and we did it together. But yeah, it's like, what is the apprehension? Why don't we just change the dang thing?
Because it hurts. You bend. It's just awful.
Especially for a king size, right? And
oh yeah.
You can say,
yeah. So we do a lot of them. Your wife's going to kill you for saying that on the air.
That's
You're
okay.
in trouble.
She hates him anyway. So you're sharing the information. You got a big conference coming up that brings all kind of like-minded people together, right? Tell us about that.
So we have our second event, Living with Dementia 2024 conference. It's called the Care Partners Journey, and that is going to be held on September 18th from 8 to 4 at the Embassy Suites across from Destiny, same place as last year.
Right.
We had a complete sellout crowd last year, and we anticipate that again today. So we're letting people know you can register on our website at livingwithdementiacny.org, or they can call 469-1000 if they have any questions.
And I heard it's rumored that you're going to have the Rolling Stones playing at this year's conference, right?
That's a big rumor, huh?
For entertainment.
Yeah. However, the conference this year is just full of wonderful opportunities, and a lot of that has to do with our premier sponsor, which is Velocity Clinical Research. We're going to have a wonderful speaker start the day out about navigating turbulent times and dealing with caregiving as a person. Our second speaker is from Rochester, who is a clinical psychologist, and she will be speaking on getting the right diagnosis, psych emergencies, capacity assumptions, and ageism. We're also going to have talks on clinical trials and treatments that are out there, because there are some developments in that world. We're going to have a speaker on the brain-gut connection. We're going to do our panel of local resources, which was very, very good last year, and we're putting some different ones in there this year. Engaging with your loved ones at various stages. We're going to talk about hands-on training. We're going to do some interactive training for people. It's just a wonderful event. And one of the things we're doing this year is we're having a caregiving panel. So we're going to have a panel of people up there that are just regular caregivers like you out there. And you'll get to hear some of their stories and ask questions of them. And we're bringing back the legal panel again, because that's a necessity. And it's really important.
You had me at pain-gut connection.
Yeah.
So
gut-brain.
Gut-brain. So gut-brain.
Gut-brain connection.
So what I eat helps what I think?
So there's a lot of research being done on what you eat and what is in your gut and how it affects your brain cognitively.
Okay.
Yeah, I watch a lot of Dr. Peter Attia. It'd be great if you could get him.
Wouldn't it be great?
Yeah.
The local show could sponsor him coming in.
Yeah, why don't we should
tell
talk
me who
to
he is, because I have no idea.
He is world renowned in that area, a longevity specialist doctor, and he has a very active YouTube channel, and I follow him because he's got great advice on health and fitness and how it affects longevity. And one of the things he talks about a lot is that gut-brain connection and how you can live better and be more cognitive by eating the right foods.
There's a lot to that.
Yeah.
And it's something we're just scratching the surface
Well,
on.
because when you think about it, we're eating processed food for so many years. Then by the time you get into your 70s, you're like, wait a second, I ruined myself with all this crap.
Yep.
And it's hard.
Are you looking for help at senior home care these days?
We always are looking for good people. So, if anyone is interested, they can go online to our website, info@syracusesenior.com, and fill out an application.
What do they need to be to qualify for the job? Who do they need to be, like, experience-wise?
They need to be someone who's compassionate with seniors, likes to engage with them, and can also it's kind of like running a house. Cooking, cleaning, laundry, managing reminders for meds and appointments and driving them, and making sure that they're drinking fluids and all of those good things.
Very important stuff.
Awesome. So SyracuseSenior.com, does that have the info on the conference too?
It does as well.
So all of that is there, and this is for regular people that have some questions and challenges, and they'll get information. And at 469-1000 if they want to call and chat.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Sheila.
Thanks so much. Have a great weekend.
You too, Sheila.
Thanks.
Scott Jones is coming up next. He's the owner of Northside Collision. We'll get his whole story right here on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Back into it and back at it. You've got the local show with Tom and Steve. Thank you for joining us. We're having a grand old time, and we hope that you are too. And hopefully you didn't have too much storm damage or anything like that. Now that you're apartment dwelling, you don't have to worry about that, Steve.
No, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
The
They just clean up around you.
I have people. Yeah, they chlorinate the pool. They clean the fitness center that I never go to. You know, they cut the lawn. They do all of those things, and it's perfect. Driving in the garage, it's a glorious thing. Judy and I like it a lot.
You're being taken care of. That's good.
They wash your car too, Steve?
Yes. No, that's Delta Sonic. Yeah.
Delta Sonic. Okay,
She'll do that. Well, we've got a new guest to the show, and we were just reminiscing on all the people that we know in common and all that. But it's Scott Jones, folks, and Scott Jones is the owner of Northside Collision. Has been the owner for a little while. How are you there, Scott?
I am better than I deserve to steal a term.
I know who you stole that from.
Great, man. Great. Yeah, so I know that you're a local guy because you went to high school with my wife.
Yep.
So where'd you grow up? What's on town?
I was a Valley boy.
Down in the Valley?
Down in the Valley, yeah. Warrington, West Warrington.
Oh, you were on Warrington.
Yeah,
okay,
man.
I didn't even ask you that.
Yeah, right off Salina.
Yeah, right. Warrington. Let me see. Vinny Martinez used to live down there. Do you remember that name? No,
I don't remember Vinny, no.
Yeah, I do
Here come the Valley
Vinny.
stories.
Yeah.
Police officer?
Soon we'll hear Green Hills and other
yes,
things.
of
So
course.
go ahead.
But Scott, do you remember when? Because we're around the same age. Do you remember when the creek flooded? And the creek overflowed, and it was just like all through the valley and all through the backyard.
What happened? Did you jump in, Tom?
It was bad. It was some serious
you guys
rain.
are friends, right?
Yeah, it actually filled the water filled up the bays in Green Hills.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember swinging across that thing with the willow trees.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
that was the best, man.
Yeah, a lot of willow trees down there. We had a big one. Anyway, so Scott, tell us what's your journey? How did you get into Northside, and how long have you owned it for?
So, boy, it's an interesting, boring story. Did well in high school. Went to college, University of Buffalo, for electrical engineering. And my dad and I were building print circuit boards when I was a kid.
Nice.
I was really interested in all that stuff. But unfortunately, I majored in fraternity while I was there.
Yeah.
Learned a lot about recruiting and fundraising, your keg parties, et cetera.
Sure.
Became president of the fraternity in my second semester. And after the third semester, Mom and Dad said, well, that's not going to get you gainfully employed, so you got to come home. And I'd worked for my uncle in the body shop for a couple of summers.
Okay.
Needed a job. He needed a guy that knew computers back then. Computers were these big, huge monster things with green screens. And so I went to work for Gary, and I just kind of loved it. He was a great mentor. He kind of let me do what I was hungry. I wanted to do stuff,
So Gary was the original owner.
Gary was the original owner.
Oh, okay, and he's your uncle.
He's my uncle.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Yep. He had a partner at that time. Chuck was a great guy. He was a genius with repairing cars. And as any partnership goes, it's kind of like a marriage. Sometimes they don't work. Sometimes they do work.
Yeah.
And he and Chuck split. And a couple of years later, Gary and I teamed up to do our first store together. That was our Cicero location, about 12,000 square feet.
Wow.
And then we built it together up to 5 locations over the years, all over town. I mean, I'm born and raised. It's my town. I love Syracuse, and same with Gary. And then he retired in 2018. God bless him. He's kind of shown me the way.
Right.
He's got a place in Florida and a place up here, and he bounces back and forth. In fact, he and I are having coffee here in a couple of days. And that's my journey. I got into the body business kind of accidentally, and I fell in love with it.
Accidentally.
Right. Yeah. Well, I
It was
get
good,
it.
right?
Yeah.
Fuck that.
So how many stores do you have? How many locations? Not stores, but repair centers.
Yeah, so we're up. Let's see, we just picked up another one last year, and we just closed on actually the old Sam's Auto.
Oh yeah, I remember Sam.
You guys may remember
Sam Vigliotti or Vigilati or
Sammy,
I remember.
Sammy,
it.
great guy. One of the premier shops in Syracuse. Maybe fell in some hard times. So Sammy and I are teaming up to hopefully bring it back to its prior glory. So we just closed on that deal. So there's 9 locations.
Very good.
One is in Greece, Rochester, and then of course Sam's is the latest.
Yeah. So do you do mainly repair through insurance, or do you do any custom body work or anything like that?
Yeah, we're in the crash business. We repair crushed automobiles. Custom, that's a whole different game. It's a tough business. It costs so much to repair these cars and do them properly that no one's got the funds to really, the custom stuff is, you really want to find somebody that's working out of his garage that has a love for it. In fact, Gary's old partner, Chuck, was a genius with that stuff. Old Model T Fords he'd rebuild.
Yeah. I see.
So people still get in accidents. It seems like somebody scratches a grocery cart, hits their car, and it's totaled these days the way they're made. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong. A lot of plastic, a lot of styrofoam.
Yeah.
All the new gadgets that we have, all the the ADAS, all the driving assists and the radars and the lidars. Those things just add tremendously to the cost of repairs.
Yeah. So a small crash is a significant repair bill.
It can be. Yeah. We're one of the only shops in town that has the equipment to actually recalibrate those. It's a whole thing that nobody tells you about. I'm sure insurance folks don't. Nobody wants you to know necessarily because most shops don't have the equipment. I mean, you're talking a huge bay and $100,000 worth of equipment just to calibrate a car. We've got 3 sets of that in our Camillus location.
So do you move vehicles from shop to shop depending on maybe the volume or the specialty of the repair? Is that a fair question?
Yeah, no, it's absolutely. We load level. One store is real busy, one's quiet. Obviously, we want to get your car in, get it taken care of as quickly as we can. So, yeah, we've got this guy, Jim Sophia. He's awesome. He's my tow truck driver. He drives our flatbed every day. And, he load levels even between Syracuse and now Rochester.
How do you handle people who need a vehicle while their vehicle is being repaired?
Man, I couldn't have written this thing better than these questions. We have loaner. I got about 150 cars in our fleet. We have loaner cars that we provide. If you've got rental coverage, we'll rent a car to your insurance company. In essence, it won't cost you anything. If you don't have coverage, we put you in a car for free. Now, the challenge is having enough cars for everybody. As you can imagine.
Tough.
We're running 1,500, 2,000 vehicles a month, and we're adding to the fleet.
I remember the cars from years ago because my wife has experience colliding cars, and they would have a Northside bumper sticker, and it was always like a Torres or something. It was always like this is
Datsun 210.
That was years ago. It was, and I remember saying, okay, that's a loaner. Someone's getting their car fixed because they were all kind of the same. They're kind of the same car back then.
Well, when we started, Gary and I got started. We were small. The cars we bought were probably the kind of car you'd buy for your teenage son or daughter.
Right.
Yeah. Sure. We've upgraded them.
Which makes sense, though. It's a loaner. You get around. Big question. Why should someone choose Northside?
Oh, my God.
And do you have a choice?
Of course you have a choice.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah, you can go anywhere you want. Most insurance companies out there will refer you to Northside Collision. Why? Because our reputation, man, we've been doing this a long time. We have a lifetime warranty, as long as you own the car. We've got the equipment. We spent over $250,000 last year just on training. Wow. I can tell you there's not another body shop or dealer anywhere, Onondaga County, Rochester, Buffalo, that spent that kind of money on training. We're playing the long game. I expect to be doing this for a long time.
And with 9 locations, maybe I get my car back quicker?
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt.
Because that's a consideration, too. A lot of people, they don't want their car locked up for all that time. And, even if you have a loaner car, it's inconvenient.
No.
It's interesting. You get these wrecks, and some of them are so bad. There's only a handful of people that have the skill set to repair some of these vehicles. And I happen to have most of them, in Onondaga County. It's a real thing.
Do you look for people? Can people come to you looking for employment?
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, okay. Of course, all the time. We actually, we had to shut down half of our stores during COVID. Because no one was driving. Right. And when we reopened, I reopened the Liverpool location as a school because I recognized that trying to pick people up from other stores is impossible.
So
we've got a group of kids, a couple groups of young people that we've run through, and we're finding some young people that are great with their hands, that love working on cars. They're stellar.
So if someone gets a ding, give Scott a ring.
Yes. Let's go back a ways.
Northsidecollision.com, and they can take care of you, Tom.
Excellent. Thank you, Scott, and you have a wonderful day.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. I appreciate the time.
Kicking off hour number 2 of the local show, we're going to have a conversation with Sean Dupree. He's the owner of Top Notch Roofing. Jerome Snyder stops by, owner of Pestmaster Services. Luis Colón Torres is the owner of Luis Colón Torres Enterprises. That includes Guadalajara Restaurant. Stick around. Hour number 2 of the local show starts really soon.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome back and welcome in. This is hour number 2 of the local show. Get ready for engaging interviews with Sean Dupree, owner of Top Notch Roofing, Jerome Snyder, the owner of Pestmaster Services, and Luis Colón Torres is the owner of Luis Colón Torres Enterprises. That includes the Guadalajara restaurant.
You like saying that, didn't you?
Well, I took some Spanish, and this is all I've been able to use. Okay. So I guess after all these years, it's working out. Right now, we're going to talk with Sean Dupree. He's the owner of Top Notch Roofing. How are you, Sean?
I'm doing pretty well. How about you guys?
Doing good. During the week, did you have any issues with the people calling you up saying, hey, I got missing shingles or the top of my roof is gone?
Not yet.
No, okay.
It's pretty early on that yet.
Yeah.
There was definitely a lot of devastation in Rome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Camden, and that whole corridor from Camden out to Rome, right down 69.
Yeah.
Was devastated pretty well last night.
That's tough stuff, man. When you have to do that, where joists are, cut in half and all that, do you do that kind of work?
Yeah, absolutely.
You would replace that as well. Yep. Well, give people a little bit of your background so they know how you got into the roofing business.
Well, I started working construction when I was about 11 years old. And,
so that was a couple years ago.
Yeah, it's been a minute. I got 4 or 5 years experience.
Yeah, right.
I started in the construction industry with my uncle when I was young, and we did a lot of roofing then, and we developed over the years through some other job experiences and whatnot into my own businesses, and I started my own construction company, and then we kicked off just a roofing division off from the construction company. So we have a full-blown roofing division outside of our construction company.
Yeah. So it's important to know the structural things that go into a roof, right? The structural combinations. So you're not just ripping off roofing material and putting it back on. You actually understand the structure.
Correct.
And how to work with it.
Yeah, and that, having the construction background helps with that. When we see something that's failing integrally, we can address that, and we can fix those things to make them sound for the homeowners.
Now, we're kind of in the thick of things, meaning, we're in the middle of the summer, it's nice weather, and you probably have to get a lot of roofs done during the really good weather before the bad stuff sets in. Can people still get you?
Yeah.
You still?
Yep.
Okay, you're not too busy to where...
We're not too busy to where we can't schedule somebody in and get you in within a couple of weeks.
Tell us about that commercial job that you just finished that we were talking about down there by St. Joe's.
Yeah, we did the Buddhist temple right on Main Street in North Syracuse in front of...
Well, it's on North. It's not really North Syracuse. It's like on the north side of Syracuse.
Yeah, what would you call that?
The north
Prospect Ave.
Oh, Prospect. Yeah, that's the north side.
I used to call that the creepy puppet place because they had puppets and stuff. It was a museum, wasn't it?
It was a museum. It was a puppet museum before.
Was it really?
The Buddhist temple. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I think that area there at one time it was considered Little Italy at one time.
Yeah. My people call it the north side.
The north side.
The north side.
My people never went there because your people roughed up my people. I don't know about that. So that was a pretty old building. There is, right?
That building was built in the mid 1800s.
Okay. Are there unique challenges to something that old? Or
sure, there is. There was we had to do some asbestos abatement. The roof material that was on it was all slate with copper flashing. So it poses some challenges, and it's very steep. And it's very high off the ground. So
not my kind of thing.
No. So what types of roofs do you do?
We do residential and commercial. Anything from asphalt shingles to metal roofing, standing seam metal, corrugated metal. And we also do flat roofs, EPDM, or flat asphalt.
Isn't a flat roof just asking for trouble? It just seems like...
With the snow around here, you would think so, right?
Yeah, typically your flat roofs are built a little different than, they're a lot of times, like this building here has a flat roof. It's steel construction. rather than wood construction, so it has steel girders instead of wood trusses.
You don't see too many flat roofs in the residential world, though, do you?
No, you see them under 312. Anything under 312, we consider it a flat roof. So if you're 212 and under, you're supposed to use.
Are those pitches? Those are called pitches. Okay.
Yeah, 212 pitch.
Yeah, I had no idea what he was talking about, Tom.
Yeah, and what that is when you look at the side of the roof where it has a slant to it, your eave side or your gable side, and every foot that it goes back towards the center, however many inches the rise is what determines your pitch.
I see.
Okay.
212.
You ever been in a building or a camper when they have a metal roof and it rains, Tom?
Yeah.
I love it. We have a metal roof up at camp.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know, it's just a different experience. When I see a metal roof, I think, well, that thing will never wear out. Does a metal roof wear out?
Sure, everything has a lifespan.
But it's metal. It seems like, what wears out on a metal roof?
Well, there's a lot of maintenance to a metal roof. If you do a corrugated metal roof, you're supposed to have them inspected. They say yearly, but nobody does. Every once in a while, you want to do an inspection on them, make sure that your rubber grommets are still intact, make sure all your hardware is fastened properly, and where those screws go through the metal, if they loosen up, they can generate rust, and you can get a hole through it that way.
And you do roof inspections for regular people?
Yes, we do.
like Tom?
And, the other thing is if something falls on the roof, scratches the surface, it can create a rust spot. The edges of where it overhangs the side of the roof, they can rust out. So everything has a lifespan. Nothing's forever.
Our house has sprouted a lot of mushrooms given the wetness of this year. Mushrooms around the mulch. We've got this interesting fungus called, it's not popcorn, it's puffball fungus. You ever hear that?
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Sounds like a rapper.
Oh, right. It's like, there's jelly roll and now there's puffball. Yeah, it's crazy stuff. But on the roofs, do you see a lot of mold, mildew stuff on the roofs that has to be cleaned off?
Yeah.
And do you provide that service?
We do provide that service. Yeah.
Okay. It's important to get rid of that, right?
Yeah, because it breaks down the integrity of the asphalt shingles. When you have organic growth on your roof, it will break it down.
When we lived in the city, our roof, Tom, had a life of its own, sort of. and this is a long time ago.
Growing stuff.
It had some things, and you always wondered, should I knock it off? But there was shade there. It seems like the shady parts are the ones that attracted that.
Yeah.
Yeah, more on the north side. Just like if you're in a forest, your north and west sides of your trees typically grow moss.
Okay.
Your roof is the same way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you ever have to take down tree branches or anything like that for people?
Yep.
Yeah. It's great.
Sometimes they're too close. You want to get them back away from the roof.
So getting a quote, a simple process from somebody?
It is. Yep.
How's it work?
We have a team that is dedicated to only doing estimates. You give us a call. We try to have an estimate for you within 24 hours.
That's quick.
And it doesn't always happen that way, but that's our goal.
Right.
And you can get a roof done in some pretty good time, right?
We try. Most roofs are done in one day.
Wow, that's incredible.
So top-notch roofing, 247-0628. I think I had the number right this time.
You do.
So you can get a quote, have a conversation, 247-0628. topnotchroofingcny.com.
Excellent. Sean, you have a great rest of the day, okay, buddy?
Thanks, guys. You too.
All right. Jerome Snyder's up next. We're going to talk bugs and creepy crawly things. He's the owner of Pestmaster Services right here on the local show on 570 WSYR.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
We're back and we're ready. Hope you are too for the local show where we champion local businesses. There are a lot of people out there who work very hard every day in their family business, their local business right here around town, and it's only getting better because there's going to be more opportunities as more people come into town and they finish up the road work. That's annoying me. You know what I don't like about traveling? There's a lot I don't like.
I can make you a list of things I do know.
But the one thing is when you get into Pennsylvania and all these places where you're being funneled down to one lane and people are just nobody's cooperating.
So are you?
But that's what's happening all around our area now.
So are you the guy that it says one lane 50 miles ahead and you get in the right lane? Are you that guy?
Yes.
Are you the person that waits till a mile ahead and moves over, or the person that waits till the last second and moves over?
My wife thinks I wait too long, but I don't. And when I'm not with her, I'm usually over early, in the proper lane.
What's the proper lane?
Well, the proper lane is if it's going to funnel down to one lane, they say the two left lanes are closed. Well, then you better go over to the right lane and start riding.
But if it happens in 10 miles, you're only making it worse.
No, you're not, because you should be going the right speed at that time.
They call it the zipper method. Okay, listeners, look up the zipper method. You're supposed to kind of blend in towards the end.
You get that one hot rod who rides the left-hand lane and gets about 30 car lengths above you and then cuts in right at the last minute. I hate that.
I could tell it. You hate that.
No,
this is a fun conversation.
I drive around Syracuse in a truck all the time, and the construction is challenging, but really the Syracuse drivers are pretty good about it.
Yeah.
Like around here, it's as bad as it's been as long as we've been around here. Right. Construction. People are tolerating it pretty well.
That's good.
Those when the concrete barriers are there and then it creates the S's where the road isn't.
Wow,
it's
tough, man.
Judy just bounces off them.
Uses them as bumpers like when you bowl. All right, Jerome Snyder's with us. He's the owner of Pestmaster Services here in Central New York, and he gets rid of your critters. How you doing there, buddy?
Like a dream come true.
Yeah, you manage them. You manage the insects and the rodents.
All your uninvited guests.
Okay. How many years ago did you start this?
I was 6 years right now.
And I remember when you did it.
Yeah.
And we're friends. And it's been quite a journey.
It has.
Yeah. You were in the military for how long?
I was in the military for 20 years.
Goodness gracious, you'd had a whole career first.
I did, yep.
Yeah.
You don't seem that tough.
I'm soft. I'm old and soft.
They beat the tough out of him.
They did.
Did you see time? Did you go over? And,
I served in Iraq. Yeah.
Oh, you were in Iraq.
2006, 2007 during the surge.
God bless you.
Ramadi and Fallujah. Yeah.
I've heard the stories. Wow. I know.
So then you come back, and then you did some. Where did you go first before Pestmasters?
So I'm a chemist by nature. So I started out in Buffalo. I was pharmaceuticals, and then we moved here. We had a family business. We were making hair care products, conditioner, styling products, things like that. Mm-hmm. And then I went to a little town on the other side, or a little business on the other side of town here, and we were making natural pest products that I helped develop, and we were making those. And then I kind of felt like I was on the wrong side of the thing, so I'd been in factories too long, and I decided to get out and do this pest control.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's different about your pest control and management?
We're all about education here, so all of our people are applicators, technicians, applicators. If they're getting to be a technician, then they should be working on becoming an applicator, and multiple licenses and stuff like that. So we're broad spectrum. Some companies just want to focus on doing the stinging insects, and they do very well at that in town. There's some people that do that. There's some people that just do the wildlife, and they do very, very well at that. And I try to be full spectrum pest control. So if you've got your bats and your squirrels and your skunks and stuff like that, I can do that as well as your mice, and then your stinging insects, ants, cockroaches and things.
You did a wonderful job at my house. I want to tell people the experience. It was fantastic. We had a hood put in, a vent hood for our stove, and some birds got up in there, maybe some starlings and things like that, nested. He came, you and your crew came over to the house, and you replaced the hood because that had to be taken off, and then you got inside and you sterilized the inside, got rid of the pests, and the birds and whatever else that was in there, then cleaned it all, buttoned it all up. It looked just like it did before I had the problem, and then made it so that birds can't get back in there. And it was wonderful.
Isn't it true, Jerome, that you took all the pests from Tom's house, including the woodchuck, and brought it to my mom's house?
That's correct. That woodchuck at your mom's house, he's got some long-lived.
I'll tell you, this is like, right? There's so you handle the bigger he's not a carnivore, he's a herbivore. You handle those things too. So yes to spiders and bugs and stinging insects. And I know you don't say bees because you love bees, and bees are important to you, yes?
So there's a lot of different species out there. The carpenter bees can cause wood damage. When we have honeybees that we come across, we have 3 different honeybee people in the area, companies in the area that we call, and they will cut those out of the house. They will remove them. They take them to their apiary. I have 3 different companies I refer to. They're all very, very good. And then you don't have those in your house. You have to remove the hive and the nest and the honeycomb and all that stuff. Otherwise, you'll get secondary pests.
Sure. Are squirrels, are they bad news?
I love squirrels.
Squirrels are a challenge.
Squirrels are awesome.
No, they're eating all of my bird seed. I've got a family of them, and I counted 6 of the babies and the adults, and you know what? They're cute for about 5 minutes.
Remove the bird feeder, Tom. Get rid of it.
But I love the birds.
You're one of those things that the squirrel tries to beat. Have you watched those on YouTube where the squirrel jumps on and swings around in circles or slides down a pole? It's great fun.
Is it humane to kill the squirrels?
It is for you.
I got to get rid of them.
There's a story. I don't know. Everybody seems to know the story, but there was somebody capturing the squirrels and taking them away and releasing them.
And they come right back.
And then they said, well, you got to spray paint them. So it's one of these legends, right? So somebody's grandpa spray paints the squirrels, and then the spray painted pearl comes back. Yeah. So you're not supposed to relocate squirrels.
So does Pestmaster spray paint the squirrels?
I don't.
What would you do about squirrel abatement, or can't you?
We kill them dead,
that abates them.
So talk to me about when people get treated for hornets and stingy insects and things around their windows. You and I were talking last week that sometimes it makes a mess for some companies. Kind of have to go in and spray, and then you got to deal with your windows. You do it a little different.
When I talk to customers, they're like, "Oh, I have to have you come and do it before I get my windows washed," and I'm like, "We don't get it on the windows." So that's kind of a personal pride for me. Personally, all my employees, we don't get the.
And it's still effective, though.
And it's still effective. And we apply it in a way where we're not hosing down the whole house from top to bottom. We're responsibly putting it on there. We do come 3 times a year to do these exterior treatments for your house. And so we're putting less product on than maybe some other people are putting on, but we're putting it on 3 times a year.
Gotcha.
And so we find that to be better ethically. We find that to be better as far as, the environment and what we're doing and the way we're applying it. I don't know that anybody else is doing what we're doing.
Okay. So you got about 25, 30 seconds to tell us about the different packages. Go quickly.
Oh, yeah. We got the home service is 3 treatments for just your bugs on your house. We got the Home Plus, which is 4 treatments, your bugs plus your mice. And then we have the Home Complete, which is your bugs and your mice and your yard pests like your mosquitoes and fleas and ticks. And that we come out monthly through the season. So it usually starts April, May, depending on when the snow leaves us. And it goes right through till October, November when the snow comes back.
Excellent.
So Jerome's the guy, 598-4046. Is that right, Jerome?
That's me, 598-4046.
598-4046. Pestmaster, generic-pestmaster.com. Right, Jerome?
That's me.
All right. You have a great rest of the day, buddy, and a good summer. All right, take care. Luis Colón Torres is the owner of Luis Colón Torres Enterprises, which includes the Guadalajara restaurant, and he'll be up next. We'll hear his whole story right here on the local show on 570 WSYR.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
We're back again, and that means you are too. It's Tom and Steve on the local show. Thanks for hanging out with us on this weekend. Hopefully you're dried out from earlier this week. That was some rain. Man, I was glad I had my comfort windows in there out because that rain was hitting against them, and I'm thinking, I got a lifetime warranty, and if it blows through.
I was trying to shop and run into Wegmans. I saw the cloud was coming.
Yeah.
And it was one of those, and I'm like, I want to get in there because I had to go to the pharmacy and grab, and I wanted to, it was like beat the clock.
Sure.
And I came out, I just sort of missed it. I got a little wet, but it was a little disturbing.
The storm prior to that, they made people stay in the store. I happened to be shopping that time, and there was some clouds rolling in. I was going to go to the gym, and they were like holding people back and saying, don't go out yet. I don't know whether it was they were concerned about the lightning because it was fork lightning and all that. So I was like,
maybe they were just trying to drive sales up.
Yeah.
Hey, nope, you can't leave.
Well,
you need to stay.
It probably wouldn't look good to have somebody go out to their car and get struck by lightning in the parking lot.
That only would happen once it hit your yard. Did it not go over your fine landscaping up there?
No. We have been very fortunate. Everything was good. I ended up skipping. I used that as an excuse to skip the gym, though, because there was a tornado warning and all that stuff. Anyway, we got a new guest to the show. Looking forward to listening to this guy's story. It's Luis Colón Torres, and he's the owner of Luis Colón Torres Enterprises and the Guadalajara restaurant. How are you there, buddy?
I'm doing well, guys. Thank you for the invitation.
Very good. Well, you don't sound like Luis. You sound more like Antonio Banderas. So that's a good thing,
That
right?
is a good thing.
The ladies like that.
Yeah.
So where are you from originally?
I'm from Puerto Rico, born in Puerto Rico, yes.
Excellent. So how'd you hook up with Steve? I mean, what's going on with that?
We collided. We ran to a billboard together on 690.
That's correct.
We got talking. I stopped down to see him, and I had not been in the restaurant. And I'm like, holy smokes! I thought I was there before, but I wasn't. I was at that restaurant bar right by Nimo there. I was in the other space.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what an amazing story is to tell.
Are you on the other side of Cafe Cubal? Is that,
yes.
okay.
Cafe Cubal is in the corner, right across from Niagara Mohawk Building.
Yeah.
I'm right adjacent to them. Well, not adjacent, but I mean, it's the same building.
Sure. Yeah. So how long ago did you come over from Puerto Rico?
I came here in 2015, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what did you come over for? Specifically to start a restaurant, or?
Oh, no. I came here for a different opportunity. I did start a restaurant, like a food truck kind of vibe back in Puerto Rico in 2013.
Right.
Then I just jumped over here to the States.
Was it your first time over to the States?
No, actually, I was raised in Rochester from when I was like 3 years old to when I was like around 12, 13.
Gotcha.
Went back to Puerto Rico, came back in 2015.
Yeah.
So how did you decide to go into the restaurant business? How was your heart? How did that happen?
Well, I have a CDLA. I'm a truck driver.
Okay, gotcha.
I did go to culinary art school in 2010. When I came over here, I had no family here.
Oh, really?
No, in Syracuse.
Geez, that's rare. Usually people come over because they got cousins and aunts and uncles and.
Oh yeah, no, but I have no family at all. The only thing is, I did have a cousin at the time, but she moved out quick. She wasn't here like for long.
Oh, you're brave, man.
Well, you see, Syracuse is right centralized, so you see that it's right in the middle of New York State.
Yeah, absolutely.
So as a truck driver, I wanted to be home more. So you go north to south, east to west. You always go by Syracuse, so it gives me a time to be home and sleep at my house.
Okay, and so then tell us how you decided to start in the restaurant business.
Well, there was a restaurant downtown. It was called Guadalajara already. The same location, same restaurant I own right now. When I met these guys that were barely opening, they were failing on it, and they offered my 15-year-old daughter at the time a host job.
Right.
Yeah, but my daughter told me, Dad, this place nobody walks in and out. I mean, it's a Friday and a Saturday.
Yeah. And
can I get into something else? I'm like, wow, they're in trouble because this is a nice location.
Yeah.
So I went in and sat in the bar and I asked for a drink and they gave me a glass full of Jack Daniels and a little bottle of Coke. I'm like, oh, they are in trouble. Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah. From there, I mean, I offered them like, hey, you guys want to, sell this place or do something?
Yeah.
One of them was listening. They had 3 owners, so I went ahead and I bought them out. And now I just transformed it into what it is. We went from a $300 sale a day to $10,000 a day.
Have you actually been to Guadalajara, Mexico?
Mexico? No, I have not. No.
You know, they make tequila there.
Yeah, so basically, I asked the guys, I'm like, you guys from Guadalajara? When I bought the restaurant.
Yeah.
They told me, no, we're not from Guadalajara. I'm like, okay, why Guadalajara? We're like, I don't know.
So the name has a powerful origination.
Yeah, right.
So what I did, I created my own origination for the name Guadalajara.
Sure.
Since you just mentioned tequila,
Yes.
Guadalajara is the capital of, Jalisco.
Yes.
Yeah,
Jalisco,
so basically, I just we named Guadalajara because the capital of the tequila nation.
Yeah, which is nice, right? If you like to do the drink, because I noticed not only do you have these beautiful signature dishes that I'd like you to explain to people, but you also have drinks and you do kind of party vibe on the weekends and stuff too, right?
Yeah, yes. Well, when I first got here, like I said, I had no family. So I knew a lot of people from the city school district, and I used to see that we used to party or have social gatherings in people's houses, and I said, "Wow, we don't really have a nice, safe place out here."
Yeah.
That professionals could come in and have fun. So the first time I went to Guadalajara, that spot. I organized a karaoke night, or Latin karaoke night. Yes. So we went there.
Was it Latin music?
It was a Latin music.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so you're singing in Spanish.
Yes, we were. Well, actually, we were singing a little bit of everything. And then when those Jack Daniels came in, we sang no matter what language. So we went from there, and it was more like a safe place for us.
Right.
So then I started looking around. I'm like, I'm going to open a bar so I could do like a Latino bar where the professionals just could come in and hang out. Then I had that idea, and I just, like I said in the story before, I ended up buying Guadalajara and turning it into that place. That's why we have nightclub events, and we have salsa nights. We have outdoor salsa also.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's
So how long ago was this? How long have you had the restaurant?
I've had it for 2.5 years now.
And when did you meet Hugo Acosta?
Hugo Acosta?
Because I know you had to rump into him.
Everybody does.
Yeah, no. So Hugo is funny, but it's one of those events that I told you that it was in people's houses, like social events. That's where I met Hugo.
Yeah.
And from there, you know Hugo.
Yeah.
He's been on the show with us a few times.
Yeah.
Has he?
I know him a long time.
He's a wonderful guy. I can see him down there doing karaoke.
Yeah.
So tell us about your dishes. Did you you have a culinary background, and did you bring some signature dishes from Puerto Rico?
Well, here's a funny story. When I started in the restaurant business here in Puerto Rico, I was selling empanadas.
Yeah.
Empanadas.
Tell people what an empanada is.
So an empanada basically is a beef patty.
Okay.
It's a beef patty from Puerto Rico.
So it's a hamburger.
No, because you have it's shredded chicken and ground beef. It's kind of like all in there.
All right.
It's similar to
and some cheese. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I just sold that to different convenience stores in the area.
Okay.
And from there, I had a mentor who helped me out in the industry, which his name is Matthew Cullifer. He owns Hope Cafes. I don't know if you guys ever heard of those.
No, I know
I
Matt.
haven't.
Yeah, so Matt.
I know Matt.
So Matt helped me out with my LLC, helped me out to get started.
That's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy, yes.
Wonderful.
So we went from there, and the dishes, obviously, it's a Mexican restaurant. I'm Puerto Rican. It's a difference.
And people should know that difference, and I'd like you to explain that too.
Yeah, well, basically,
culturally.
Yeah, well, culturally, Puerto Rico is in a Caribbean island. It's United States territory.
Yep.
Different from Mexican cuisine, they're more spicy. They have different things, in their food. Puerto Rican is more like mofongo, which is plantains and things like that, which comes. I'm going to bring that cuisine here with my new restaurant called 809 Lounge and Restaurant.
Okay.
In downtown also. Yes.
So you got a new place coming too. Well, we're going to hold you over for another segment if you don't mind.
Yeah, no mind.
We got a lot to talk about.
All right.
We're talking with Luis Colón Torres. He is the owner of Luis Colón Torres Enterprises, including that Guadalajara restaurant and some other restaurants. And we're going to learn more about his goals and ambitions right here on the local show on 570 WSYR.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. We've been talking with Luis Colón Torres. He is the owner of Luis Colón Torres Enterprises, and he's got some restaurants, including that Guadalajara restaurant. We were talking about the difference in cultures between Puerto Rican and Mexican cultures and the foods, but you are bringing kind of a blend of both. Would that be proper to say?
Well, yeah. I mean, in a way, no. In a way, yes. Like,
Okay.
for example, when I gave you the example earlier in the previous segment about when I used to do empanadas, that when I got the Mexican restaurant, people started telling me, no, what do you should sell this in this restaurant? You know, everybody gives you an opinion. You know,
lots of
knows.
opinions out there. Yes.
So I keep it strictly, even though I'm Puerto Rican, there is no Puerto Rican plate in there.
Oh, okay.
No.
Interesting.
Yeah, I keep it strictly Mexican, and you know, we try to be as authentic as possible as Mexican.
Yeah.
Like all my cooks are from Mexico. The back of the house staff is from Mexico. All the recipes are Mexican.
Gotcha.
All the spices, we have our supplier that is BMF, which is strictly Mexican food.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
How about the language? Is language the same?
The language is Spanish. It's like, I'll give you an example. Like, you know, you go to England, you know, their English is very different from us.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, or you go to the southern part of United States, and
Absolutely.
their accent is different.
Well, you go over to Salve, it's different. Just kidding, Salve people.
Or the valley.
So it is a bit different. It all depends. Also, you know, Mexico is a huge country,
Right.
You know, compared to Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico
an
is
island, right?
Yeah, Puerto Rico is actually 100 miles across.
Wow.
And 35 miles north to south.
Jeez, yeah, that's
So it's
small.
tiny, you know. So I believe, Puerto Ricans got a big presence for the small country they are.
Yeah, big presence, especially here in upstate New York and into New York City, right?
Yeah, you're correct. Yes.
That's wonderful. Hey, were you over in Puerto Rico when the big storms hit?
No, I was not. That was in
okay.
2017. I already had come here in 2015.
Oh,
yes.
God bless you. Yeah,
I don't want to hear about the weather. I want to hear more about the food.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So
About your food.
So Guadalajara, right across the street from Niagara, the big Ionic Niagara Mohawk National Grid
I think
building.
it's the most beautiful building in town.
Okay, and you're right across the street there, and it's a nice experience. So you have some other things in the cooker, and you have some other restaurants, yes?
Yes, I acquired not too long ago Tulum Mexican restaurant in East Syracuse.
Okay.
Yeah, I acquired that like 2 months ago.
What was it called again?
It's Tulum, Tulum. It's right across the Burning Dairy from West Manlia Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, in East Syracuse.
What
in
does
the
that
village.
mean? What does Tulum mean?
So Tulum, actually, if you go to Mexico, Cancun, they will offer you, as soon as you get out of the airport, they'll offer you a package to go visit Tulum. It's actually a pyramid.
Really?
It's a city, yeah.
know that.
I want to say like an hour away from Cancun,
Okay,
yes.
gotcha.
Yeah, but I didn't put the name on it either.
You're right.
I bought the restaurant already there. You know, they were struggling. And again, you know, we went from whatever sales that we're having, I don't want to say a number right now, we've already quadrupled the sales.
What kind of food can I get there?
Well, it's actually Mexican food also, but I want to say it's more like a country-style Mexican food versus Guadalajara Mexican restaurant. It's more like a city-style Mexican food.
I don't know the difference.
You have to try yourself.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. And you have some other ideas and some other things brewing that we were chatting about.
Yeah, well, if you guys remember the old spot downtown called Ocho Cinco.
Yes.
So they closed that down I want to say like a year ago or so. So I acquired that location. Right now we are in the middle of remodeling. I want to say in the next month and a half, we should be opening there, my Caribbean restaurant.
The Caribbean now.
Yeah, so it's going to be called 809 Lounge and Restaurant.
Okay.
I'm gonna have live bands in there. You know, while people eat. It's a nice.
Some steel
vibe.
drum bands and some authentic steel drum stuff.
Yeah. That's the plan. Yeah, but that one's more like the name itself, 809. It stands for the Dominican Republic area code. You know, like 315 here.
Oh yeah.
So to dial to Dominican Republic, 809. Even though I'm Puerto Rican, I like to do diverse cultures.
Right. And what kind of food? Like jerk chicken and stuff like that?
No, so jerk chicken will be more Jamaican style.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and this is be more mango, which is Dominican dishes,
right.
And mofongo, which is a fusion of plantain from Puerto Rico. We'll have churrasco, we have steak, we have a lot of good things. We have a lot of Caribbean stuff.
How about the drinks, the alcohol? Because there's a difference between Mexican drinks, Puerto Rican drinks, right?
Well, yeah. In Guadalajara, is more based on tequila because tequila obviously is from Mexico. Here in 809, it will be more rum based. If you look even at the bottle of Bacardi, it says rum from Puerto Rico. Yeah. So it's more of a Caribbean style. So we'll be doing more rum-based drinks.
So how come you're not the size of a piano? Because if I had to be around all this food,
because he's young.
Is that what it is?
No, guys. No, I used to weigh 275 at one point.
Whoa, wow, yeah, that's up there.
Yeah, no, now I'm like what 210 probably.
Very good.
Yeah, so no, but
because you're running around restaurant.
I'm running around, and I watch what I eat.
Yeah.
Some of your kids are involved in the businesses, yes?
Yes, I have 3 beautiful children. They are in between. They are in Guadalajara and in Tulum, and also they're helping me out with the new restaurant also.
Oh, so they're older.
Yeah, my youngest son is 16, and my daughter will be 18. She's graduated. She starts OCC, and I have my oldest, which is 20 years old. Yes,
nice. Right.
And I have a little one that's coming in the way. She'll be out here at December.
I hear 3 restaurants cooking right now. Okay, I see Guadalajara right across from Naimo. And then I've got Tulum.
Mexican, yes.
Mexican, which is...
Are you changing the name at all?
It will be called Guadalajara's Mexican Grill soon.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. So
that one right there doesn't have a liquor license yet. Well, technically it does now. They just got the email.
Right.
We do have it.
It's very good. Yeah.
Okay, so if I'm in the village, that's right in the village of East Syracuse.
Yes, right across from Bernadere. Yes, 325 West Manlia Street.
Okay,
yes.
And then the old Ultra Cinco.
That's 206 South Warren Street.
And that's not open yet?
It's not open yet. No. It should be open, I want to say, August 15th to September 1st.
Okay. So I could start out going downtown and then start to work through the restaurants.
Yeah.
And things. Wow.
Do you have partners, or are you doing this all solo?
Solo, yes.
Good for you.
Yeah. 809 was a franchise I bought that was already in Rochester. They did really well. And instead of spending probably $20,000 to $30,000 myself in research and development, I was like, hey, guys, you guys got something going on here good.
Right.
You mind, and so we shared ideas, and I bought part of their franchise.
Well, that's one of that's one of the advantages of a franchise.
Well, right. There's a model there. Yeah. I think everyone has like 5 restaurants that they go, okay, where do you want to go tonight, dear? And they go, what about this? I think there's like a list.
Yes.
And I think restaurants go on and off the list, and there's a special place. Well, Guadalajara is now on my list. We have it because we go Friday night. God willing, we go out to dinner. That's kind of a family thing. So look forward to coming down there and
look forward to having it.
And
how about entertainment-wise? Will there be entertainment at these other restaurants as well?
Yes.
You did mention about the bands, but
no. So in Guadalajara, sometimes I will be having, and sometimes I put a DJ just taking people's requests. And sometimes I do bring like a mariachi around while people are eating. He's just singing around.
Right. Yeah. Oh, in Guadalajara.
Yes.
They were the in the city. They're also known for flamenco guitar. That's where they started that.
Wow!
Yeah,
if you say so.
I'll take your word.
I actually research the guests before they come in.
See, he knows things. He just makes them up.
Oh, I'm just teasing you. But hey, this is great to meet you, and God bless you and your family and all the people that work with you for doing a wonderful service for our area. I can't wait to come out and sample things. You're not going to pretend you don't know me, right, when I come?
No, not at all. I never do. I'm really good playing it off.
That's great. All right, that's going to wrap things up with Luis Colón Torres, owner of Luis Colón Torres Enterprises, and you've heard all the other restaurants and all that stuff. Guadalajara, get out there. Thank you, and you have a great rest of the day, okay, man?
You too. Thank you.
All right. Steve, that's going to wrap things up for us. That means you can go.
And I will.
Yeah, yes, please do. On behalf of the local show, Zoey Advertising, and Tom and Steve, God bless you and your families. Make some time to relax and exercise today and every day. Do it with a family member or a friend. It'll keep your body and mind healthy. The local show is heard every Saturday morning from 11 to 1 and again on Sunday morning from 7 to 9. Listen together with a friend. We find it's more fun that way. Until next week, get down to business and keep doing business locally. Tell your friends about the local show right here on 570 WSYR, 106.9 FM, the iHeartRadio app, and on YouTube at Zoey Advertising.